annealing the copper pipe. Okay, so in the process of doing this, we're putting the molecules back where they want to be. Copper molecules want to be all nice and lined up in a row and kind of like a car going down the freeway. What happens when you work hard in it is kind of an analogy might be if somebody's changing lanes a lot and the traffic gets all messed up and nobody moves. And then they come by and they straighten all the traffic out again, and then the traffic moves along finally. So when you anneal, all the molecules get nice and straight, but when you hammer it, they get all kind of messed up and they can't move. And you anneal it again, they're all nice and straight and they have room to move around. So this is, I just annealed this bracelet that I made, and I want to show you a pretty cool experiment. If you hold it like this and you move it back and forth, and it moves pretty easy, what you're going to notice, now see how it's bending in a different spot? It's bending more towards the outside because the inside has been work hardened. And as you do this, you'll notice it's actually becoming harder to bend. And that's all the molecules being just kind of all messed up again. If you anneal it, it'll be nice and smooth. So every time you flatten it or work it, the molecules get work hardened. And so you have to keep annealing it, annealing it, work it. Hi, I'm Terry Hagel from the Aerospace Apprenticeship Committee, and as part of one of your projects that you're going to be doing is taking this copper pipe and turning it into something that looks like this, that you can give your wife or your girlfriend or your daughter. This is a store-bought bracelet, but when you're done it should end up looking like this, and it will have different textures in it that you see here, and whatever you kind of want to put in there. So we're going to go through the processes of doing that. I've laid out on the table all the materials that are in the course kit, with the exception of this vise. Your lab should have a vise. The first step that we have to do is we have to cut this pipe lengthwise. So we're going to like this. You're going to have to really tighten it down. Okay, I got a little bit of a start there. Now I'm going to come to this side and I'm going to start doing the same thing. And I'm going to aim this blade right down here. So now it's gone, it's cut all the way through. Ideally that's what you're trying to do, is get this and this to line up in the middle. Because if you remember from our high school math class, pi r squared is the circumference, so for this 1/2 inch pipe we should be able to get about 1.5 inches worth of material once it's opened up flat. So the next thing we want to do is grab our needle nose pliers and our glove. We're going to hold the copper pipe. Turn on the torch. We're going to heat it. Hopefully we won't set off any smoke alarms or heat detectors in the hallway here. So by holding it like this, I found that it tends to, the heat goes up the pipe and it heats quicker. So that orange color is really what you're trying to get the whole pipe colored to. And then we're just gonna drop it in the bucket. Copper has unique thermal properties where it will cool extremely fast, right? So now we can just open it up. You won't be able to do this if you did not anneal it. Okay? Just by opening this up, I've work hardened it again. So depending on your class size, you're going to have to, do this a while. Now this will heat up quicker. Okay. Now what we have to do is we have to flatten this out. Make it really, really flat. So to do that, I'm going to put it between two pieces of wood. Put it down on the concrete floor. Watch, don't hammer your hand. Now we have a really nice flat piece of copper. Okay. These are about 8 inches long, and my wrist is about that big, so I'm going to take a paper towel, wrap it around my wrist like this, mark it. And that's the length I need to go all the way around my wrist. And then I'm going to cut off a little bit, like so. Because ideally you take this, you put it on your wrist this way, and then you turn it. So that's the length, and I need that. And for simplicity, I'm going to make it about that wide. And then I'm just going to use the end of the ruler across this way. Make that straight edge. Lay that there. Now you can see where we've got two parallel lines. The ends are square, they're the right size. So now I just have to take the tin snips snip along here. Now if you're in like a sheet metal shop, you could use the step shear, but this works just as good. So now we got all the sides square. So let's just say I didn't want one side to be straight. So I could take this and I could curve it maybe like that. Trying to get all the cuts the same so I've got less filing to do. Okay. Now, these are going to poke your skin, so I'm going to trim this side. I'm going to put little angle cuts here on that side, and this side I'm going to do the same. But where this curve comes around, I looked at that and I thought, well, that would be great if I just kind of, if I transition that curve maybe. Make that one, we've got chamfers, and then one side is a little oddball, but that's okay. And you're going to file this. And I'm not going to file all of it, but it should take a little bit because you want to file all of these edges smooth to where you don't have any sharp edges, okay? So just by cutting it and doing all of this, it's work hardened a little bit. And the next step we're gonna do is we're gonna texture it. So I'm gonna want to anneal it again. Just because I want it as soft as I can possibly get it. Now, we have a little Scotch-Brite here, so if you want to make this really shiny, you can take the Scotch-Brite to it and make it shiny like that. If you leave it like this and you texture it, a lot of times what happens is this scaling gets into the design and it actually darkens it and it actually looks pretty nice. But this is completely soft again, and I'm just going to use, got an ice pick here that I just found in the shop, so I'm going to just kind of do a texture in the middle. You don't want to poke through, you just want to make it a little bumpy. And then I've got a ball peen hammer here, so maybe here I want to do it like that. It makes a little different texture on the outside. A little different hammer. So I'm going to come at it sideways. And that makes a slightly different texture like that. Right, so hammering on it, it's work hardened. Okay. It really doesn't matter which side that you want. You know, it can go like this, or it can go like that. A lot of times it just depends on how it turns out. So what I've got to do is I've got to anneal it again. Now I'm going to clean it up. Depending on what kind of polish you want to get on this, you can make this thing super bright and shiny. Right? I'm going to just pat it lightly. So there, it kind of looks like that. Of course, we did this really quick. Ideally, you know, you want to smooth all this stuff out so it looks nice and smooth. And then to form it, you can form it over like a hammer handle or really kind of anything, depending on what shape you're looking for. A lot of times it works pretty good, just kind of going like that. You can get the rough shape and then just kind of smooth it out, make it kind of round, nice and even. It's a little bit too much right there. So something kind of like that.